I am delighted to be able to introduce Allegra Love of the Santa Fe Dreamers Project. She needs no further introduction.
Thank you. Hey, buenas tardes. Good evening. I think it's worth, under the circumstances, acknowledging that we are on stolen Pueblo and Jicarilla Apache land. So why don't we all take a moment to acknowledge in silence that this is not the first time this country has done this to people. Thank you. And let's also notice what a beautiful evening it is and how blessed we are to live in this place. I'm given about 10 minutes to speak, which I probably won't take, but I could talk to you for 10 minutes about the atrocities that I've witnessed on the border, but I don't want to do that. We all know what's going on, and that's why we're all here, right? Yes. I don't need to repeat the violence or traumatize everyone for the violence. We're here to figure out what we do next. Now, I could also use 10 minutes to talk to you about all the fucked up atrocities that the Trump administration is bringing to our country, and all the atrocities that the Obama administration brought to our country, and all the atrocities that the administrations before have done to refugees and immigrants. But we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about what we do now. I saw a sign up that says never again is now. So let's talk about what that means. Let's talk about what that actually means tonight in the pledge that I hope everyone in this park makes in their hearts today. Okay? We have to do 4 things. We have to resist this with our bodies, with our voices, with our money, and with our votes. All right. Let's say that again, because we have 4 ways that we can resist. With our bodies, with our voices, with our money, and with our votes. Okay? And let's talk about, in this particular crisis, what each of those means. Let's talk about our bodies. So many of you guys tonight are here putting your bodies in a space for these people to be counted, right? There's 800 of these vigils going on all over the United States. There's 5 of them happening in New Mexico and West Texas. You are here tonight putting your body out to be counted and say, I don't want this ever to happen fucking again in this country, right? And next time you come and do something like this, because this is going to happen again, you need to bring 5 of your friends who are off doing other things. Because 1 million people showing up tonight is going to send a message to the leaders in our country, but 5 million people showing up the next time is going to send a bigger message. This takes stamina, it takes sacrifice, but we also have to talk about another way that our bodies need to be used, especially us white folks, especially us citizens. Now is the time for civil disobedience. The ICE office in Albuquerque has a driveway that goes in and out and transports families to and from the border for removal. You put your body in that driveway, that transport doesn't go. And you might get arrested, and it might be fucking inconvenient, but that is your privilege as a citizen and as a white person in this country. Sometimes that's what you have to do in your with your body to protect the bodies of more vulnerable people in this country. And the second way I want you to think about this is using your voice. You need to refuse to criminalize the actions of immigrants and asylum seekers at every cost. There's absolutely no reason to use the word illegal in any sentence describing an immigrant or refugee in this country. There is no illegal way to immigrate to the United States. There is no illegal way to ask for asylum in the United States. Full stop. Because criminalizing someone dehumanizes them. And I've said this 100 times this week. Dehumanizing is a step towards genocide. It allows you to overcome the feelings of disgust of when they get murdered, when babies' bodies wash up on the Rio Grande, when children die of treatable diseases in cages. You have to refuse to dehumanize people, and you have to do that by using your voice. When someone says they're doing something illegal, you say, no, they are not. There's a really angry and sassy lawyer in New Mexico who told me that's not true. No one is doing anything illegal. And the next way, we are going to use our bodies, we're going to use our voices, and we are going to use our money. We are not going to support private corporations that jail immigrants. We are not going to support their stakeholders who make billions of dollars quarter after quarter on innocent immigrant and refugee bodies. We are not going to support Amazon.com and all the tech companies that provide the technology to ICE to track and stalk our neighbors and arrest them. Enterprise Rent-A-Car, just as an example, is renting cars to ICE for transport during the raids. We are going to find out the companies that support this regime, and we are going to use our pocketbooks to stop them from getting the capital that they need to support this. The New Mexico Educational Retirement Board is really, really tied up in private prisons. We need to encourage them to divest, our banks to divest. This is America. We worship capitalism. Use your pocketbook to divest from the regimes that are doing this. So our bodies, our voices, our money, and finally our votes. And this is a really important one. Just because someone is a Democrat doesn't mean they know what to do on the border. Do not be afraid of holding our Democratic representatives, senators, presidential candidates responsible for what is going on. People are afraid that they won't beat Trump if they move too far left. That is bullshit, whoever just said that. It is when we are afraid of doing the right thing that we are defeated. Hold your Democratic candidates, hold your Democratic senators, and your Democratic representatives responsible for what is going on. They are responsible. People say like, oh, I don't know, what can we do? What can we do? I know what we can do. Defund ICE. Abolish the Department of Homeland Security. The Department of Homeland Security and ICE and Customs and Border Protection have showed us over the last year, over the last decade, that they do not have the skill, capability, or compassion to care for our asylum seekers. So let's take the money from them and find humanitarian NGOs that do know. It is literally that fucking simple. And if your politicians don't want to do them, ask them why not, and tell them you are not going to vote for them until that happens. Because our power is collective power. And we have to take it, and we have to scare the shit out of our leaders. That is the only way we change. We are not powerless. People tell me every day, Allegra, what do? I feel so powerless. No, we are not powerless. Look at us. They are the powerless ones. Okay? So, remember, bodies, voices, money, vote. Let's like all yell it together. Bodies, voices, money, votes. All right, and I just, my incredible and beautiful twin sister asked me to read a poem. And I'm gonna like, I did a practice run and cried, so bear with me. This poem is called Mediterranean Blue, and it's by Naomi Shihab Nye, who's a Palestinian-American poet. And I want you to just think about what she's saying. If you are a child of a refugee, you do not sleep easily when they are crossing the sea on small rafts, and you know they can't swim. My father couldn't swim either. He swam through sorrow, though, and made it to the other side on a ship, pitching his old clothes overboard at landing, then tried to be happy, make a new life. But something inside him was always paddling home, clinging to anything that floated. A story, of food or face. They are the bravest people on earth right now. Don't dare look down at them. Each mind a universe swirling as many details as yours, as much love from a humble place. Now the shirt is torn, the sea too wide for comfort, and nowhere to receive a letter for a very long time. And if we can reach out a hand, we better. Good night.